In this episode, we're talking about the foods you eat every day, even the healthy ones, and how they could be quietly creating inflammation that's keeping you from getting pregnant. Welcome to the Finally Get Pregnant Naturally podcast, the podcast helping women identify the real reasons you haven't conceived or stayed pregnant so you and your partner can finally grow the family of your dreams. I'm your host, Dr. Katie Wood. Let's dive in, shall we? In today's episode, you'll learn the difference between food allergies and food sensitivities and why most fertility specialists overlook them, the hidden ways food sensitivities trigger inflammation, hormone imbalances, and immune dysfunction that can block conception, and simple steps to help you uncover your unique food triggers so you can begin healing your gut so your body feels safe to conceive. So let's talk about this overlooked root cause of infertility, because I have a lot of women that I am speaking to every single day. And if I had a nickel for every time someone said, I eat so clean, I don't understand why my body feels inflamed, tired, or out of balance. And often it's because of food sensitivities. And this is one of the most unrecognized and flies under the radar root causes of inflammation and fertility challenges. So, food sensitivities are not the same as food allergies. An allergy triggers an immediate, sometimes dangerous immune response like hives or throat swelling. A sensitivity, on the other hand, is a little bit more delayed. It can take up to 72 hours to cause symptoms, and the inflammation it creates is very subtle. It can be chronic and system-wide, and sometimes people don't even either have symptoms or they don't recognize their symptoms because a lot of times things are so normalized these days in terms of, oh, I just feel tired and out of it because I'm busy. So these symptoms can be normalized and we don't even realize it. So that means something that you ate on Monday could be affecting your hormones by Wednesday. And that's a big deal when your goal is conception because your immune system, your hormones, and your reproductive organs are constantly communicating. And if you think about it, if these are foods that you're eating every day, then it's just constantly causing inflammation in the body. And I do see this a lot with my clients is they're having foods pop up on their food sensitivity test that they're eating on the regular. So how can food sensitivities affect your fertility? Here's how it can play out physiologically. So the immune system sees certain food proteins as invaders, foreign invaders, and this sparks chronic inflammation in the gut, and this could potentially lead to leaky gut. And what can happen is undigested food particles and toxins can then slip into the bloodstream, keeping the immune system on high alert, which is what we do not want. And this inflammation can mess around with our hormone balance, it can disrupt thyroid function, and it can even interfere with implantation and maintaining a healthy, viable pregnancy. Because when your body is busy fighting food triggers, it gets in this high alert mode where it perceives a lot of things as foreign invaders, even including the embryo. It can actually deprioritize fertility. And it's saying your body is not in a safe state to create and grow a baby right now. So, some symptoms that might signal food sensitivities. If you are experiencing any bloating, gas, or indigestion, even with what you may consider a healthy food, if you have fatigue or brain fog, if you experience headaches or migraines, any skin conditions like acne, eczema, or other skin flare-ups, if you have joint pain or muscle soreness, any PMS, painful periods, or irregular cycles, autoimmune conditions or thyroid antibodies, if you've experienced recurrent miscarriages or failed IVF implantations as well. So, if any of these sound familiar, your body could potentially be reacting to something that you're eating daily, again, even if it's considered healthy. Let's talk about the foods that are most likely and most common to trigger inflammation. And of course, remembering everyone's triggers are unique to them, but some foods have just been more commonly seen and more likely to cause immune reactions. So, the most common culprits I see in my fertility clients include gluten, dairy, soy, eggs, corn, sugar, peanuts, artificial sweeteners, and processed oils. And like I said, and sometimes even the healthiest foods can be causing trouble, like avocado, different greens, or even almonds. I think I've seen almonds pop up on almost everybody's food sensitivity report. So that's why testing and a tailored, structured elimination plan is so important. So, how can you identify your food triggers? So, I'd say that there's about two main ways that we can go about it. So, option one is functional lab testing. You could do a test like a food sensitivity panel to measure your immune reactivity to foods. This is going to give you a personalized list of inflammatory triggers to help guide your healing protocol. Now, I run a food sensitivity test on every woman that I work with who's trying to get pregnant. And from there, we create a custom gut healing protocol based on their personal results. Now, I do want to remind you, not all tests are created equal. We have trialed and errored a lot of different tests, and the test that we use seems to yield the best results. So then we can make the most optimal protocol to help women healing their food sensitivities in their gut. Option two would be an elimination and reintroduction protocol. So, what you could do is remove the top inflammatory foods for about 3 to 4 weeks, and then one by one, so one item at a time, you can reintroduce one food at a time while tracking your body's reactions. So, your mood, your digestion, your energy, your period changes, your skin, all of those things. And the key here is to stay curious. We don't want to be overly obsessive about this because remember, the goal isn't to avoid the food forever. It's to identify what your body currently can't handle and allow it proper time and give it the resources it needs so it can heal with the hope that eventually you could introduce that food back into your diet. So heal your gut, heal fertility. Everything begins with your gut. Once you've identified your triggers, the next step is to restore your gut health because that's where the immune system lives. Now, when I'm working with clients, we're doing a much more customized protocol to them, which is including supplements and things like that. And then, of course, based off of their personal food sensitivities. But these are some general options that you could look into and, of course, discuss with your practitioner. So you can support your gut with high quality bone broth or collagen rich foods. So I'm not talking the bone broth that's in like the middle aisles of the store. Like we want something that's refrigerated. You can very easily make your own bone broth at home from pasture raised, grass fed animals. Okay, getting probiotics from fermented foods. So, high quality Greek yogurt, kefir, kimchi, all of those different things. Zinc, glutamine, and omega 3s can be beneficial for your gut health. Staying optimally hydrated and making sure that you're practicing mindful eating because our digestion really is beginning in the mouth and we have to properly chew our food. That's where the food is going to begin its first breakdown. So we're able to absorb what we're eating. So slowing down, chewing your food properly, not being in a stressed out environment, not being on your phone, watching TV. And then, of course, stress reduction, period, because stress in and of itself can actually increase gut permeability. So, increasing the likelihood of those food particles and food proteins crossing into the bloodstream and causing inflammation. And as your gut inflammation comes down, your hormone balance is going to improve. Your thyroid function is going to strengthen, and your body becomes more receptive to a healthy conception. Because I have seen clients go from years of unexplained infertility, recurrent miscarriages, to a positive pregnancy test within just a couple of months of addressing these food sensitivities and healing their gut. So let's recap what we discussed today. Food sensitivities can cause low-grade inflammation that can block conception. Symptoms like bloating, fatigue, or skin issues are clues that you could have some food sensitivities going on underneath. And identifying triggers and healing your gut will restore hormonal imbalance and improve your fertility outcomes. So I just want to remind you, if you've ever been told everything looks fine, but your intuition is saying something is off, it's time to dig deeper. You can book a free fertility strategy call using the link in the show notes, and we can explore whether hidden inflammation or food sensitivities could be the missing piece in your fertility journey. Head to the show notes, book your free fertility strategy call, no strings attached. And I just want to thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope you have a gorgeous day, and I'll see you on our next episode released every Tuesday and Thursday. Are you ready to finally discover why you haven't been able to get or stay pregnant? The Ultimate Fertility Blueprint is a quick, insightful quiz designed to reveal your overall capacity to conceive and help you discover potential root causes and areas to address to improve your fertility so you can finally get and stay pregnant. You'll find the link in the show notes. As a quick reminder and disclaimer, this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for medical advice. Always consult your doctor or healthcare provider before starting any new supplement or protocol, especially if you're actively trying to conceive or undergoing treatment.